Anyway, so I have a question. What does Luke Skywalker, Jesus Christ, the Buddha, Moses, Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, what do they all have in common? They're all heroes. But the fact of the matter is, we're all heroes. So the idea of a hero is really based on the hero's journey, which was written by, my brain is a little foggy today, so I probably won't remember some names, but we all know who wrote Hero's Journey, right? Someone, yeah, thank you. Thank you. And that comes actually from Carl Jung. And it's based on the archetypes of all of us. We all have these archetypes, these personality types that are within us. And the thing about a hero's journey that makes it very distinct is there's always a call. We get this call, we get this inner urge to do something, go where, whatever, and it's something we can't deny. And it could be, Luke Skywalker when he's like standing in, at the beginning and he's looking out at the sky and he's thinking he would like to be somewhere other than his parents' farm or whatever you want to call that place in space he lives. Or, Dorothy, looking at over the rainbow. And she just has this thing. She knows something is better, but she doesn't know what it is. And so every hero has that calling. And many of us have that calling in our lives. Something calls us to do something that isn't easy. You see, the whole idea of being a hero is the fact that it can't be something easy, because we need courage to be a hero. And as long as something is easy, we don't need courage. We only need courage when we're faced with something difficult. And so in the hero's journey, once we get that call, we set out on this journey. Now, the interesting thing about a hero's journey is one thing that is in common is that every hero's journey has someone that is going to challenge them. It could be someone, it could be a country, it could be something that's going to be a problem. And they're also going to have angels, people that come into their journey and help them along. And every one of those hero stories I mentioned all had that. Dorothy in A Wizard of Oz, she had the Tin Man and Lion and all of that. And then she had the Wicked Witch of the West and those monkeys, those flying monkeys. As a kid, I couldn't stand when it was... I lived in the Bronx. I was worried our building was going to be blown away every time it was windy. Nothing was going to blow that building away. But every one of those stories had that. They had somebody that was against them and someone that is for them. And if you look at our own journeys in our life, those difficult journeys that are the true hero's journeys, there's usually something that makes it really difficult. It might be parents going, you can't do that. You're never going to amount to anything doing that. It might be society saying you're too short, you're too tall, you're not smart enough, you don't have an education, and all of that, and telling you you can't do it. But you're also going to have people who come along and encourage you and say, yes, you can do it. Or people who support you through those difficult times in life. And we all know about those difficult times in life, because I believe there's no way you can get through life without going through a hero's journey. I don't know of anyone who has gone through life and hasn't had some kind of challenge somewhere along the way. And the whole idea of this Hero Sunday was for people to think of people in their life who represent that hero. And I invited you to bring them with you. I don't know if anyone, I know someone did, but they don't want to share, which is okay. And anyone else bring a hero with them? Michael, and do you want to...
My mom.
Do you want to say why she's your hero?
I think just, it seems like her whole life has been struggle, and after struggle, and she's always been optimistic and had a good head on her shoulders and always persevered, and I don't know.
A hero.
Yeah.
Thank you. Teresa? You can do it with tears. It's still okay.
I brought you in.
Everything with tears.
No, tears are good. Tears are good.
We've known each other since we were 14.
Oh,
13. And I've just watched her do so many things. She comes up with the most amazing ideas, and, lots of people tell her she can't do it, and she's just like, watch me. And it's been amazing to watch her. She's been, since we were 14, it was never a dull moment.
Wow.
So,
Cool.
that's
Can
my
I say
friend.
something?
okay.
I feel the same about you. I
Usually
mean,
heroes feel that way about.
I mean, I think that we've encouraged each other to do the crazy things that we decided to do, the things that aren't standard. And, heroes need support too. It's not like heroes just kind of fly solo. So, thank you.
Heroes are never solo.
I got it.
Somebody over here. Please.
My personal hero is a young lady named Donna Carnes, who many of you know. She is the one who brought Caesar and me to this organization, and that's why she's my hero. She's also not here today for a very good reason. She's at the finish line of the New York Marathon. Not because she's going to run there, but because her son's significant other is running and is a very, very efficient and successful runner. There's not a chance in the world that she could win. There's something like 50,000 runners down there. But it'd be nice if you thought of her and bring her to the finish line tomorrow or the next day. In any case, I'm sure that Donna would be embarrassed that I said this, but that's all right. A little embarrassment is deserved and appreciated. Thank you all.
Well, since you gave me the opportunity, when I was driving here today, I thought to myself, oh, I forgot something. I was going to bring a hero. And there were a number of people I thought about during the week. So I had mixed feelings about that as I walked up the steps. And lo and behold, when I get to the top of the steps, I see two of my heroes here. One who's a guest, Kimberly, and she's a guest of Andrea. And both of those people, through my journey and through almost weekly contact, have shown me unconditional friendship and love, which I'm sure is no surprise to any of you. And hopefully you'll get a chance to talk to Kimberly today as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
So my hero is a homegrown one that I've met here in Unity. And first off, I'm a Vietnam vet, but this guy's a real combat Vietnam vet. And he saw the elephant. And he's also shown me over the years, he's older than I. And we've been throwing out a lot of really jokes about him being older than I, and I'm just brutal. I ask him, did he ride a horse in the Civil War, yada, yada, yada. And he just laughs, I know. And then, but he's a hero because now I'm the old guy in my company, and I'm getting those kind of jokes. And he's taught me how to react, and I just laugh and roll with it, and everybody's happy. And on top of that, he's a hero to this church. Anything breaks in this church, where's Lee? So that's all I'm going to say. Lee's been here forever, probably since the Civil War. And he's a hero to me. Thank you.
My hero is my friend Meryl, who unfortunately could not be here with us today, but she has gone through some medical challenges lately, and she's just mastered it beautifully with a smile, with joy, with humor, and I just really admire that. And I love her dearly.
My hero is my husband. He couldn't make it today because he's down in Pennsylvania knocking on doors. But his family was sent to Siberia during the Stalin Purge. And my husband grew up in Siberia, and he was a professional gymnast and traveled the world, and he saw what was outside of Siberia. And he came by himself, and made his way to Rome and then came into the United States. And I met him in Texas, of all places. But he has such an amazing vision, and he fits in our family. I'm the first American in my family, and he fights for what he wants, and I'm just very proud of him.
Someone over here. Oh, here we go, Maria.
So my hero is my husband, Andre. He has endured several medical situations that a lot of people don't get to survive. Pancreatic cancer, complete heart block, a quadruple cardiac bypass, severe anemia, life-threatening anemia. I mean, it got to the point where the last time he was in the hospital, the doctor looked at his medical history and he said, Mr. Hopko, is all of this true? And the reason why he's a hero, not so much that he survived all of this, but he thrived because of it. He has an inner strength and inner joy and inner love of life that keeps him going, and he doesn't identify with any of this. He just lives in the moment, and there are times when he'll say to me, we'll think about something and we'll go, oh yeah, that was when you had that going on. And because we forget about it. It's almost as if it happened to somebody else, like another person, because he is so present and so full of joy and so full of the desire to live a very long and beautiful life. He is my hero.
So I have another hero that's online, Patricia, and she's my hero because of how she loves, and she shows me how to love in that unconditional way.
I have two I want to mention. One is the one sitting at the piano, because without this man who pushes me and teases me and tests me and helps me sing better, and without him I wouldn't be going to Mexico this week to do a cabaret training and learn some more. So,
Right.
and the second is my mom. My mom, 98 years old, probably listening, I hope, hi Mom, to us today on YouTube. She gets up every morning and watches our service. And 98 years old, she's gone through a lot, pneumonia and all kinds of things, and still living by herself and having some help, but really amazing.
Anyone else? So, I have had so many heroes in my life, and I've met so many phenomenal people, and so I was thinking, well, who's the one person I would want to talk about? And that's a friend of mine, Josette, who lives in California. And Josette had two fabulous little boys, and Bradley and Connor, and they were amazing kids. Bradley was 8, Connor was 6, and Bradley was the kind of child that he was like an old soul. And so he had read or seen somewhere about some kids who have cancer. And so he decided to raise money for the kids who had cancer to help with their treatment. And so what he did is he had this idea to get some bouquets and sell the bouquets. Pick the flowers in the gardens and stuff and put them in a vase and bring them and sell them to people and then give the money. And one time he raised $2,500. Another time he raised like almost $3,000. He was just an amazing kid. At Christmas time, he'd put his little piano, he played the piano, he had a little toy piano, but he played the real piano in a red wagon and go around the neighborhood singing carols and stuff. And these boys were Josette's life and her husband's. And it was the second day of school, and Bradley wanted to ride his bike to school, and Josette no said today isn't a good day. We're running late. So he made her promise that the next day he could ride his bike. So he was taught about putting his helmet in and walking across a crosswalk and all these things that an 8, almost 9-year-old boy should learn to do. And he got on his bike, and Josette and her younger son followed him in the car. And he got to an intersection, and he got off his bike like he was taught, and he crossed the intersection with his bike, and a truck hit him, and Josette watched her son traveling through the air. His helmet fell off and rushed to his body. She was the first one to get there, and it wasn't a pretty sight. Her younger son saw it also. And she lived in this neighborhood where they were really good. But anyway, she called me up, and I went to the hospital that day. And as long as I live, I will never, ever forget the sight of that little boy. And 3 days later, they took him off life support because they found donors for all his organs. It was the day they took him off life support, it was her 10th AA anniversary. So every year, when she celebrates an anniversary for her recovery, she also has to remember that was the day her son died. But what was most amazing was a lot of people, when they're faced with that, their life would just fall apart. She decided to honor Bradley, and they created a foundation. And what they do is they do all kinds of things to raise money. They have big events. I mean, it's now gotten to be pretty big, but she started out with bouquets, just like Bradley did, and they give the money to kids who have cancer. They help families who have children who have cancer. So, and it's the Bradley Rofer Foundation. So she took something that some people would just, it would devastate them for their entire life. It's one thing to bury a child, it's another thing to watch it happen. And she did something good. I mean, she did something good. She took that child's life and made it worthwhile. So it's, for me, I will always remember that. I will always remember that child. I will always remember what they are doing in his name. Because you see, one thing about a hero is the fact that life can hand us whatever life hands us. It doesn't matter. You know, some things are really bad, some things are not as bad, but in our life, they're really bad. And we take it and we grow. We take it and we become who we were meant to be. Because we're all meant to be what God intends us to be. And so often we forget that. We think we are less than. You know, we say all the time, you know, the Christ is within, I am, you know, this, that, and the other, and yet we forget that in our everyday life. We forget that if the Christ is within us, the Christ is in with everyone. You know, with everything going on in this country right now, it isn't the Christ is only in certain people and not in others. It's in everyone. And everyone is going through their own hero's journey. And so the next time we look at someone and we judge them, and we think that maybe, you know, whatever we want to think about and realize, nobody knows what that person is going through. People don't go around and advertise what the difficulty is in their lives. Most people don't. There are those people who like to, but most people don't. And so we don't know that. So the next time you go into a grocery store and the cashier doesn't talk to you and doesn't smile at you and maybe doesn't treat you the way you think you should be treated, maybe she just got a phone call that someone she loves is really sick. The next time you call up a customer service person and they are, like some customer service people can be, a little rude, a little short, just really wanting you to just hang up that phone, you don't know what that person has gone through. You don't know what they're going through. Every day in our life, we are on a hero's journey. And every day in our life, we can decide, how are we going to pursue that journey? We can rise above whatever life gives us, whatever life gives us, because we know that God is within us. And God gives us the strength and the courage to do whatever is ours to do, no matter how difficult it is. And so I invite you to close your eyes for a moment. And remember this. We only grow through our difficult times. It would be wonderful if in life everything went well and we just skipped through the roses and the daisies. But life is a school, and we are brought here to learn whatever lessons we have to learn. And very often those lessons come in the form of challenges. And sometimes they come in the form of gifts. But they are always blessings, because they are always from God. They are always for good. And they are always meant for us. And so for that, we say thank you, God. And so it is. Amen.